disruptive.
America that I fought.
Weird thing to happen. Hello, one and all. Welcome to this edition of Kitz Corner. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So, hey, get this. Tucker Carlson, you know, he has a show on Twitter, and he had an interview with Ice Cube, the famous rapper, actor, artist who came out against the mandates, who has been very vocal about why he did not get the jab. He lost, I think it was like $9 million for a movie deal that he was about to be in works because of these ridiculous mandates, and he's been very vocal about that. He's been very vocal about why the Democratic Party has failed black people, which is really remarkable to hear the words that he's saying and how inspiring and interesting where he's coming from on this, and how vital it's important to hear the words coming from Ice Cube on issues like this. So Tucker Carlson invites him onto his show, and they do like a little, I don't know if it's like a comedians and coffee style little ride along here, but they do an interview here, and Tucker Carlson's about to ask Ice Cube why he turned down this movie deal and why he turned down the mandates that were so in command, and so much of Hollywood, so much of, you know, the artist worlds fell into this. And why he didn't, follow the command. Take a listen to this.
Why wouldn't you take the vax? You had a direct order to take it. You were told to take it.
Yeah, I'm not real good with direct orders, but on a whole nother note,
but it was a command.
I mean,
they told. I'm sorry, they told you. I mean, they couldn't have been clearer about it.
Yeah, it was pretty clear. Did you take it?
Of course not.
Yeah, no. It wasn't ready. It was 6 month, kind of rush job. And I didn't feel safe.
But they told you were safe.
I know what they said. I know what they said. And I heard them. I heard them loud and clear. But it's not their decision. There's no repercussions if they're wrong. But I get all the repercussions if they're wrong.
Was it a tough call for you?
No, it wasn't a tough call. I wanted to be an example for my kids. Really make sure they didn't take it either. Show them that I wanted to stand on my convictions, and that I was willing, to lose $9 million and more, because we've probably lost more, since then.
The idea is that people who stand on their convictions are heroes. They're brave. They have principles. They're the people we look to for inspiration. But in this case, with this decision and these principles, you were not hailed as a hero.
No.
You were attacked.
So why won't you get the vaccine, man? Hey, look, man, I'd just rather be myself than take that vaccine like you other 3 billion bozos.
I never told anyone not to get vaccinated publicly. That was never my message to the world. I didn't even want people to know whether I got vaccinated or not. I was pretty upset that even came out, because I was just gonna quietly, just not take it and deal with the consequences as they came.
Do you know anyone who was injured by the vaccine?
I do. And they suffer every day, and it's hard to watch. Suffering in silence is not the answer all the time. Sometimes you gotta let people know what's going on so you can actually move the needle. I choose to be vocal. If it's true, why can't I say it?
Well, you can't say it because it is true.
There it is. Now that's the problem with the world today.
There's no penalty for lying. No one's ever punished for lying. It's only telling the truth that gets you in trouble.
Ain't that something?
That's true.
Yeah, that is so true.
Wow. Such a very humble, kind person for being an anti-vax Nazi. An anti-vax Nazi, lying, sociopathic, right-wing conspiracy, white supremacists, racist bigots. I'm trying to think of all the words that they would spew to people like him that are just trying to, come to terms and actually open up and encourage themselves to speak up. And what he said there, a lot of people felt the same way. In ways I feel the same way as he did. Like, I didn't know much about this, but I was caught in the fear. I was caught in the fear mongering. I was caught in the whole dilemma of this. And, I got the 2 jabs of Pfizer, and I'm dealing with adverse side effects and, situations from the jabs. And now that I know what I know, it's complicated things. It's made things, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm so angered by this, why I'm so, so vilified by this, is how much this is taking a toll on people. And just the fact that he's just opened up and just being who he is, a kind, humble person that just said, I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe. I didn't know what was going on. It was a rush job, which it was. They say that most vaccines, when it comes to things like polio or measles or even flu vaccines, take up to almost 10 years for completion. And somehow we got this done in less than 6 months, even before that. So it just seems ridiculous. It seems ridiculous that, back when Trump was president, there were so many dignified people at the top that were relentant on the vaccine, but then Joe Biden came along and somehow things changed. They did a complete 180 to say that, the Joe Biden vaccines are safe, but Donald Trump at the helm, oh my God, that's crazy, considering how ridiculous it was. The same people that were in the Trump campaign were in the Biden campaign responsible for COVID. They both had Fauci. They both had the CDC. It was so ridiculous. But that was definitely moving and inspiring. And like I said, this pandemic, this scandal has caused severe damage to society. Severe damage to, the physical beings of people, to the mental stability of individuals, and divided people. Which is why I want to bring in this, for example. So, Jimmy Dore, for example, comedian, podcaster, very influential voice. I adore the work that he's done. And Graham Elwood, I used to adore him. I used to, watch Political Vigilante. The two of them together were such great pals. The chemistry, the comedy between the two was just phenomenal. But when it came to COVID, when it came to the amount of propaganda and fear-mongering and the effects that propaganda got into people, it just drove a wedge, and the years of friendship between them just completely ruined by factless lies, by non-scientific compliance, by ghouls that are pathological sociopathic liars in it for their own gains and riches. And that we know about people like Anthony Fauci, who lied during the AIDS epidemic, continuously to have a career and preaching us about the safety of COVID, while people understood that he was a liar way before this pandemic even started. It just segregated people. It ruined people's lives. It ruined people's families. It ruined people's relationships. And here's just an example of this. So Jimmy Dore had Graham Elwood on. They had a discussion about COVID. It got a little heated and intense because Graham Elwood was on the side of the propaganda. Jimmy Dore was trying to reason with him on why this was fear-mongering, why this was non-scientific compliance, how this felt like a cult, so on and so forth. And watch how this goes. Watch how this goes.
I appreciate you having me on the show, and you're my friend of 30 years, and I love you, and you're my friend before you had a YouTube show, and if you've lost everything, which I would never wish upon you, I would still be your friend. If you stopped doing this, you became a gardener, I'd still be your friend. So, and I love we can have this debate.
In the world.
We're both passionate because we give a shit.
That's right.
Why we're lefties. We
That's
care.
right. And I just
And
can't
that's-
believe how wrong you are.
Oh God, Jimmy, I just can't believe you don't give a shit that 10 million people are going to die. And you're like, ha, like,
I can't believe you turned into a Nazi.
yeah, right.
You're such a fuck.
Fucking Graham. All right, Graham, I got to go. It's rude to my next guest. I hope he's still available.
So, at that time, before all the madness, even when they had disagreements, they came to terms. They came to terms to realize, look, you're my friend. We've been comics for years. We've had this long-steady relationship and friendship, and we could have a civil conversation. We could disagree on things and have different viewpoints, but I'm still willing to fight for you. And I think that's the whole basis of, like they said, what it means to be a lefty. And what should be considered a lefty, it should be fighting for the greater good for everybody. Which is why I'm vocal for like free speech, why I'm vocal for giving people health care, giving people access to a livable wage and a good job, a union-based job, and fighting for their rights, no matter who the person is. Why is Alex Jones demonize his basic rights of free speech, whereas someone like me is protected? Like, how does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense to anybody. Unless you're a chump, unless you're some sort of cultish political savant, like those people, that just blows out their hypocrisy. But here's where the fear-mongering gets into people's heads. They become cult-like followers. And this is when Graham Elwood, who I used to respect, went way off the deep end.
And we'll do this again for sure, Graham. We didn't finish. We have more shit to say.
Shit with that fucking alcoholic motherfucker Jimmy Dore, that he's an alcoholic fuckbag who needs his ass kicked, and I know where both of his houses are.
Jimmy, that's
So, years of friendship, years of being comics, completely gone because of this, because of COVID, because of the fear-mongering campaign that they used to psychologically torture and brainwash people. And it is, like I said, it's ruined families, it's ruined friendships, it's ruined relationships, it's ruined so much physically and mentally of people. It tarnished society as a whole, among other things. And I know the feeling of losing friends. Like, when I started this channel, people, cringed and, bit their tongue and said, why are you doing this? Why are you, platforming this charade? And then I got vocal when it came to freedom of speech, when it comes to stuff like this that I thought was a principled stance. Like, I thought it was a natural thing. I thought that was the basis of being a human being, is to fight for each other on, civil liberties, freedom of speech, and have differences of opinions. But apparently that, cost a lot of my friendship and with people and tarnished people. And then I just realized that, those people weren't really my friends then. Like, if I'm trying to be vocal to help you and other people fight for your basic dignity as a person, and you're attacking me for it, you weren't really my friend to begin with. If you can't respect my, opinions, we might have different opinions, but I'm willing to still fight for you, then you weren't really my friend. It's as simple as that. And I've lost so many people with that. I've lost contact with people on that, and then with COVID and so on and so forth. So, say what you want, but this is how powerful propaganda gets, where years and years of solid friendship just down the drain. Just like with Ice Cube, so many people, I'm sure, are fans of Ice Cube. I'm still hoping that he still has lots of fans, but I'm sure so many people, loved Ice Cube. But then he spoke. He mentioned about COVID. He had his own opinions. He was being humble and genuine and concerned about it. And when he became vocal, the mainstream media attacked him, pounced on him, made people hate him more, and it ruined his fan base. Just like they did with RFK Jr., just like they did with everybody. Everybody. If you're not 100% in the cult, you are considered a traitor, you're considered a treasonous, you're considered a Nazi, a fascist, so on and so forth. It's like George W. Bush said in 2001. You're on our side or the terrorist side. You're not 100% on board with our agenda, then clearly you're on the other side. You're on the treasonous traitor side. That is what has happened to society. This is what happened to the world. And I am just so disappointed. And every time I still see pop-ups of Graham Elwood videos of him like screaming at the top of his lungs of, you know, Jimmy's a traitor and he's an alcoholic and he screams at people and it's like, buddy, come on. Come on. You really, really, really like that, you know, kick in the ass thing. You need a slap of reality, Graham. You need a slap of reality to wake yourself up, to realize this is absolute nonsense. That this is complete bullshit, okay? You're both still alive. You're both still well and doing comedy. The fact that somehow this... I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Like, I guess clearly you weren't friends then if you can't respect that you have a slight difference in opinion. Because even in the debate there, even that heated debate, they said that this is why we're lefted. This is why we can get along, because we care about each other. We care about other people. That's why we're comics. That's why we have shows. That's why Now it's just gone. So, there you go. Just to go to show you how damaging this COVID nonsense, this scandal, this pandemic, and like Ice Cube said, they're pathological liars that will never be held accounted. They're a master criminal class. And we have a criminal cabal that rules over us, and we're the peasants, we're the people in the ditches in the dark ages that are being duped by this. While the criminal class gets hailed as saints for all the disgusting, disturbing work that they have done. Absolute shame.